2025 is over, and so is the search for the best budget phone, because this is the phone that you should be checking out if you're a cheap fuck like me. Excuse my French. And I think Marquez agrees with this. So today, let's spend the day with this year's best budget phone, the CMF Phone 2 Pro. Quick disclaimer, they did not sponsor this video. I bought this with my own money and they ignored my collaboration emails anyway. Also, it's not perfect. I'll show you some of the things that kinda sucks about it. So we start the day at 6:35 AM. The fingerprint scanner is super responsive, but
Bro, the fingerprint scanner is a flashbang, dude.
imagine using this in pitch black darkness, dude. I love the little animations from unlocking your phone to charging it, paired with a distinct sound effect, which gives this phone its uniqueness compared to other Android phones available today. Alright dude, what we have here is the CMF Phone 2 Pro by Nothing. I really like how it looks, although I'm not a huge fan of the case, so today we will be a bit daring and just raw dog it, dude. We're gonna remove the rubber because it feels better. Oh, can you hear that? It's a bit rougher, but I like touching it. Camera rings, or whatever you want to call it, is metallic, I think, and most of all it's just plastic. I know there are custom accessories for this phone, but it's not available in my country, so that kind of sucks. We're gonna use this phone for our navigation, Spotify, whatever. And of course we're gonna test out the battery, which we started at 99%, and the camera as well, which I already doubt it will not be that great. Anyways, it's a cheap phone, let's go. There you go, we got Google Maps and music going on. So let's go. We will be bringing this thing to a recently opened Spanish underground cemetery and to an old abandoned Spanish bridge in my province. But first, breakfast. If you guessed Jollibee, you're probably Filipino too. Whilst at Jollibee, I took a moment to appreciate the build of the phone. I originally chose black but got sent the white version, and I can't be bothered to wait for another week just to correct my order. So I ignored the seller and just rolled with it. It comes in 4 color options too, and I think they rocked the orange even before the iPhone 17 came out. Here are the button layouts: the lock button, the essential key, which I didn't find essential at all, the Type-C port alongside the dual SIM tray, then the volume rockers at the left side. I don't know where they hid the antenna lines though. You have this removable ring thing where you can attach their accessories, but as I said, it's hard to find them in my country. The AMOLED screen is smooth. You can limit the frame rate for a better battery life, but I just locked mine at 120Hz because I can. The battery life will be fine, which is, by the way, 5000 mAh. I love the gesture controls, which I missed since the iPhone 16 Pro sucks to use with just one hand. Look how easy it is to go back to the homepage with one hand after reading an email, compared to the iPhone where I have to do some finger gymnastics. You can also choose to extend the RAM by sacrificing storage space, but I don't understand the science behind it. I think that feature is available because this phone unfortunately freezes up sometimes. It happened to me twice that day, probably because I have multiple apps running along with the mobile data and GPS. Before we eat, let's take a quick look at what the camera quality is like. It's not that bad. The details are there, but using different focal lengths gives off varying results as if it were taken by 3 different cameras. The selfie shot is surprisingly good, focusing on the beautiful subject perfectly while giving a subtle blur on the background. That's enough glazing for now because it's time to head to our first destination. At 10:40 AM, we arrived at the newly opened underground cemetery, which was built around the 1840s. This doesn't have a wide lens, so it's hard to capture the place in full, but surprisingly, the video does not have overblown skies, unlike the selfie cam. Anyway, let's head on inside and check the underground cemetery. I'm not going to bore you with the history, but this place, aside from being a resting place for the dead, used to be the place where the revolutionaries met up in secret during the Spanish occupation. It's not that dark here, but I guess these count as low light shots, which the CMF phone actually performed okay. For reference, here's a comparison shot with the more expensive iPhone 16 Pro and DJI's newest action cam, which has a review on my channel if you want to check it out. The front and rear photos came out okay too, not mind-blowing but good enough. It smells like varnish and death here, that's why I'm making that face during the selfie. Fortunately, it started raining and I don't know where else to go. Let's just wait for the rain to stop and we'll head to other places so we can see. So you've seen the beauty of the underground church. I'm using both my mobile data and the hotspot for my iPhone, and so far the battery is holding up great. The camera though, it's not that bad. Look at that. After the rain had settled down a bit, I decided to try to visit an abandoned Spanish bridge in my province, which was built around the 1850s. It's hard to see from the nearby cliff, so I took the risk and went down the muddy terrain with my expensive ass Birkenstock, and eventually got down by the river to get a better view of the old bridge. The view is great, the electronic image stabilization did alright, and there's no jello when panning. I immediately went back to the car since it was starting to rain again, but of course I had to wash my feet first. Alright, so we're at this church, Mahai Church. I wasn't really planning to go here, but we're here anyway. And it's almost 1 p.m. We got 66% battery left. But we're gonna look at the old bridge and the old church, and then we're gonna head home and eat. I've been in this church before, but here are 3 shots of the church with the 3 default focal lengths. Also, here are the differences between the normal selfie shot and the portrait mode. I can't really get a glimpse of the old bridge since it's overgrown and there's no good vantage point, so I just left. So another unexpected turn is that we are at another old church. 125, and we're going to eat and hopefully get some gas and some coffee. Here's what the phone looks like under direct sunlight with its peak 3000 nits brightness. You can still see what's happening on the screen, thankfully. I walked to a familiar restaurant to get something to eat and diddle with the phone a bit. For an affordable phone, it's pretty smooth to use, and I love the attention to detail they put into this thing, from the app icons to the application design itself. Anyway, after eating my meal, I just went home because I was exhausted from a short yet muddy steep hike. The traffic jam was crazy, but we pulled through. Hey yo, finally we were home. We can turn on the mobile data now. Everything else. So yeah, the battery life is great. It lasted longer than my iPhone 16 Pro. By the way, you can check your phone usage here. So it's using it for 3 hours and 57 minutes. It won't show what apps I was using though, whatever. It's Valorant time. So at around 11 p.m, this still had 23% battery left, and the next morning it still had juice at 13%. I never had an iPhone survive the night at 20% and lasted until the next morning. So I love this phone, but it's not perfect. And here are some minor complaints about it, which you can actually ignore if you know how affordable it is. I'll mention the price at the end, don't worry. First of all, the speakers suck. You can tune that yourself apparently, but I can't be bothered. It's not great, but it's usable, just like the pictures. Photos and videos are not bad for a budget phone. Again, it's hard to complain because of the price point, but that is the verdict. The camera results are good enough. You won't get a power brick, which is fine, and it also does not have wireless charging, which is also expected. The phone froze a couple of times when I had my mobile data and hotspot on with multiple apps open. Also, you can only register one fingerprint, which sucks. You can't group your apps in the app drawer, but there's a smart layout option that helps a bit. But you can group your apps on the home screen if you want. Lastly, I don't have a screen protector yet, and the default one got nicked. So be careful or get a better screen protector. As I said, most of these won't matter when you realize that the price is $279 for the base model, but I got mine for around 215 or 12,700 pesos during a huge sale. I like this phone so much that it currently has my main SIM card along with all my online shopping apps, food delivery, and banking. If you're looking for a sign to buy this phone for 2026 as a main phone or a secondary phone, this is your answer. Just get it, man. It punches well above its weight, plus it's got like 3 major Android updates and 6 years of security patches. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really play mobile games, but I'm sure it can run most of them. But I don't know how smoothly though. It truly is an amazing budget phone, and hopefully nothing can send me their future smartphones too. That is all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, I guess.